Hello friends, my name is Yogeshwar Singh and in this video I will be explaining you symmetric functions and some questions based on symmetric functions. Let's discuss what all topics we will be covering. First will be symmetric functions, then formation of quadratic equation in relation with the roots of the other quadratic equation. Then I'll be going into Newton's theorem or Newton's identity, that is the reduction formula used in quadratic equations. Then we'll be discussing some special type of questions which can be solved by reducing it to a quadratic equation. In the previous lecture on quadratic equations, I have already explained the deduction of Sridharacharya formula or the quadratic formula. By solving it, we got x is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac. This term we call discriminant. B square minus 4ac is called the discriminant, and it decides the nature of roots of this quadratic. The whole divided by 2a. These are the two roots of the quadratic equation. Then we discussed that what is sum of roots alpha plus beta, which is equal to, on solving, adding these two roots, we got minus b by a. You have to remember that minus b by a is the sum of roots. Now we also discussed product of roots, which is alpha beta, which on solving came out to be c by a. So we have to remember two things: sum of roots is minus b by a, product of roots is c by a. Now we have to remember these two things clearly. Now let's start with symmetric functions. Symmetric functions are those functions which are given in two variables. First. Second is, it doesn't matter that in which place you are keeping the variables. That is, if you write the function f of xy or f of yx, it is not altering the value of the function. That is, it is not changing the value of the function. These type of functions are called symmetric functions. For example, x cube plus y cube. It doesn't matter where you write a y cube or where you write x cube, that is x cube plus y cube or y cube plus x cube. X square plus y square is another example, xy plus yx, x cube y plus y cube x, x by y plus y by x. These are some examples of symmetric functions. Remember, if I write x cube minus y cube, then it is a different expression. Y cube minus x cube will be a different function in relation with x cube minus y cube. Similarly goes for all these functions. So you have to remember that interchanging of x and y will not affect the value of the function, then the function will be called a symmetric function. Why we are discussing this? We are discussing this because symmetric functions can always be expressed as alpha plus beta and alpha beta, that is sum of roots and product of roots in relation with quadratic equations. Before we start with questions, I need you to remember few things about quadratic equations and its roots. Suppose you are given a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 having roots alpha and beta. You are given the roots alpha and beta. Then you can always write down these four relations about this quadratic equation. First is, if alpha is a root of this equation, then it must satisfy the equation, that is a alpha square plus b alpha plus c will be equal to 0. Similarly goes for beta, a beta square plus b beta plus c should be equal to 0. Third relation is sum of roots, that is alpha plus beta will always be equal to minus b by a, and product of roots alpha beta is equal to c by a. These two relations are written because alpha and beta are roots of the equation and hence they must satisfy the equation. So you can always write these four relations about this quadratic if alpha beta are roots of the quadratic equation. Now let's start discussing some questions, because in mathematics without practical knowledge you will not be able to achieve anything. So suppose you are given a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 having roots alpha beta. These roots are given to you. Then you have to find the quadratic whose roots are following. I have given you 8 examples, 1 to 8, alpha plus 1, beta plus 1. Second is alpha square, beta square. Third is alpha cube, beta cube. Fourth is alpha square by beta, beta square by alpha, alpha square beta, beta square alpha, a alpha square b plus b alpha, a beta square plus b beta. Seventh is c by a alpha plus b, comma c by a beta plus b. Eighth is b alpha plus c, b beta plus c. You have to find a quadratic equation whose roots are these. Means this will be alpha dash beta dash for your required equation. So let's first understand that what we need to do to solve these kind of questions. So to get a quadratic equation with given roots, we know that quadratic equation can always be written as x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of roots is equal to 0. So what do we need? We need sum of roots and product of roots. That if alpha plus 1 and beta plus 1 is the root of the required quadratic equation, then we need alpha plus 1 and beta plus 1, sum of these two quantities and product of these two quantities in relation with these two, this equation. Hence, and once we get all those quantities, we can always write our equation. So let's discuss some of them. You can practice the rest of them. I'll be discussing the chosen few. Let's discuss the second one, where you have to find the quadratic equation whose roots are alpha square, beta square. So to form the, we always know that the quadratic equation is x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of roots is equal to 0. If roots are alpha square, beta square, then we have to, for sum of roots, we have to find alpha square plus beta square, and for product of roots, we need to find alpha square into beta square. These are the roots. Clarify this thing very clearly, that these are the new roots of the quadratic equation. Alpha beta is no more the root. Alpha square and beta square are the roots. So sum of roots will be alpha square plus beta square. We have to convert it into alpha plus beta into alpha minus alpha into beta, because we know the values of a alpha square plus b alpha plus c equal to 0, a beta square plus b beta plus c equal to 0, alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and alpha beta is equal to c by a. We will be using always those four relations to solve these kind of questions. I'll just show you this slide once again, that what I am talking about. I am talking about this slide, that these four relations you can always write down. So let me go to the solutions again. Alpha square plus beta square is, we can write this as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. This all is purely manipulation. You have to manipulate to convert it into alpha plus beta and alpha beta, because we know the value of alpha plus beta, we know the value of alpha beta. If we expand this, we get alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. This 2 alpha beta gets cancelled with this one. So in another words, we can say that this is nothing but same thing. So alpha square plus beta square, that is sum of roots, is equal to alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. Alpha plus beta is minus b by a and alpha beta is c by a. So we got the value of alpha square plus beta square in terms of a, b and c. Now let's go for product of roots. So alpha beta whole square is the product of roots. So this is quite simple. Alpha beta is c by a, so c square by a square is the product of roots. Thus the required equation is x square minus sum of roots, that is b square by a square minus 2c by a into x plus product of roots, c square by a square is equal to 0. So if ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 has roots alpha and beta, then this equation x square minus within brackets b square by a square minus 2c by a times x plus c square by a square is equal to 0 will have roots alpha square and beta square. So let me clarify one thing very clearly. Alpha beta cannot be part of your answer. You have to find the equation in A, B and C only. Alpha beta cannot be a part of the answer because you are given the equation ax square plus bx plus c. Now let's discuss the another one, that is alpha square beta and beta square alpha. We have to find a quadratic whose roots are these. Given ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 has roots alpha and beta. So first we need to find sum of roots. Alpha square beta plus beta square alpha. We will be taking out alpha beta common. We got alpha beta into alpha plus beta. So alpha beta is c by a and alpha plus beta is minus b by a. So we get minus bc upon a square. This is the sum of roots, and product of roots is alpha square beta into beta square alpha, which is equal to alpha beta whole cube or c cube by a cube. So put the values of sum of roots and product of roots in these equations and you get x square plus bc by a square into x plus c cube by a cube. Multiply the entire equation by a cube, you get a cube x square plus abcx plus c cube is equal to 0. This is the required equation. So let's discuss question number 7th. Question number 7th is asking you to find a quadratic equation having roots a alpha square plus b alpha and a beta square plus b beta. I will remind you once again that alpha beta are roots of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. We know the value of alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a and alpha into beta is equal to c by a, and two more relations where alpha and beta satisfy the given equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. We need to find sum of roots and product of roots. Here you see the roots given are a quadratic function of the roots, that is a alpha square plus b alpha. So if you try to find out the sum of roots and product of roots in the conventional method, it will take a lot of time because you will have to find a into alpha square plus beta square plus b into alpha plus beta and then put the value of alpha beta, convert it into alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Then sum is relatively easier than product. Product is quite difficult, a alpha square plus b alpha into a beta square plus b beta. So we have to find out some other method to simplify this solution. What we do, we observe that a alpha square plus b alpha, this looks like something we have already seen. Where we have seen this? We have seen it when I wrote the four relations which we can always write if alpha beta are roots of ax square plus bx plus c. Since alpha is the root of this equation, a alpha square plus b alpha plus c equal to 0, this alpha must satisfy this. Here we see this expression a alpha square plus b alpha. So from where we deduce that a alpha square plus b alpha is nothing but is equal to minus c. Similarly, a beta square plus b beta is also equal to minus c. So we conclude that the question is not asking a equation whose roots are a alpha square plus b alpha and a beta square plus b beta. Instead, it is asking the equation whose roots are minus c and minus c. See, after observing and simplifying, the question becomes very simple. You have to find a quadratic equation having roots minus c and minus c. So now it's easy. Sum of roots is minus c plus minus c, that is minus 2c, and product of roots is minus c into minus c, that is c squared. Therefore, the required equation is x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of roots, that is x square plus 2cx plus c square is equal to 0. Okay. I hope you must have understood the question and procedure. You try all the 8 questions which I have given you, then if this will be sufficient to give you confidence. Now let's discuss one more concept for forming an equation. We call this concept transformation of equations. In quadratic equations, this method is not very useful, but this method is very useful in theory of equations, which I will be discussing in a later lecture. So, let us have a basic idea of what is transformation of equations. So, if roots of the equation are given exclusively in terms of alpha and beta, then only this method is applicable. Means one root is function of alpha, another root is function of beta only, then this method will be applicable. We cannot apply this for functions containing both alpha beta in both the roots, that is alpha square beta plus beta square alpha. We cannot use this for our those type of roots. So, let us see what this method is. This method says that if ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 has roots alpha and beta, then the required equation must have roots exclusively as function of alpha and beta only. For example, alpha plus 2 and beta plus 2. One root should be function of alpha and the second root should be function of beta. Procedure: you have to follow a fixed procedure of 3 steps, only 3 steps. You have to assume that this alpha plus 2 is equal to y, some unknown new variable y is equal to alpha plus 2. Now, you find the value of alpha in terms of the newly introduced variable, that is y. Alpha is equal to y minus 2. From here on solving, we get alpha is equal to y minus 2. Now, this alpha is the root of this equation. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 has root alpha. This alpha must satisfy this equation. So, we can write a alpha square plus b alpha plus c is equal to 0, but alpha is equal to what? Nothing but y minus 2. Put it, you get a into y minus 2 whole squared plus b into y minus 2 plus c is equal to 0. On solving this, you square this, bring all the terms with same variables together and take out whatever is common. You get ay square plus y into b minus 4a plus 4a minus 2b plus c equal to 0. This is a new equation. Remember, this statement is very important. This is a new equation in a, b and c only, no alpha, no beta, and it is a quadratic in y. A, b minus 4a, 4a minus 2b plus c, all these are constants known to us. So, what is written over here is nothing but a quadratic in y. So, when we will solve this equation, we will get y as our answer. This equation has y as its root, but this y is what? Nothing but alpha plus 2, means this equation has y1, y2. This equation will have two roots, y1 and y2. So, we can say that this equation has two roots, y1 and y2, where y1 is equal to alpha plus 2 and y2 is equal to beta plus 2, because we already assumed that y is equal to alpha plus 2. Y is equal to alpha plus 2. So, I hope you have understood this concept of transformation of equations. Let us discuss one more example. If alpha beta roots of this given equation ax square plus bx plus c, remember it is always given that a, b, c are real and a is not equal to 0, because if a is equal to 0, then this will not be a quadratic equation, then we will be going by concepts of linear equations. We are discussing topic of quadratic equations, so you can always assume a is not equal to 0. We have to find an equation whose roots are alpha plus 1 upon alpha plus 2, beta plus 1 upon beta plus 2. See, here you will observe the use of this method. Why this method is more useful than the previous one? of that one of symmetric functions. Here if you try to find the sum of roots and product of roots, you will have to multiply and add and take LCM. Too many things will be involved. It's not that you cannot find, but you will be investing a lot of time into solving this question. There is a easier way. What we do, we assume that y, a new variable, is equal to one of the roots, required roots, alpha plus 1 upon beta plus, alpha plus 2. We solve this equation and find the value of alpha in terms of y. We get alpha is equal to 1 minus 2y divided by y minus 1. When we got the value of alpha in terms of y, since alpha is the root of the equation a alpha square plus b alpha plus c must be equal to 0, that is alpha satisfies this equation. Alpha is nothing but this value, so this value should also satisfy the equation. We put this in place of alpha, we get a quadratic equation a into 1 minus 2y upon y minus 1 whole squared plus b into 1 minus 2y upon y minus 1 plus c equal to 0. This is not a new equation, this is the same equation, a alpha square plus b alpha plus c equal to 0. This is the value of alpha. This will, you can take the LCM, simplify this. I am not simplifying this, but you can always simplify, take the LCM, square it, and you will get equation, quadratic equation in y. This will be a equation having roots y1 and y2, where y1 will be equal to alpha plus 1 upon alpha plus 2 and y2 will be equal to beta plus 1 upon beta plus 2. Okay. Now let's discuss one very peculiar topic in quadratic equations, that is called Newton's identity for quadratic equations. This identity is not in the syllabus of JEE, but they can define it and ask it. This is a very useful property, especially when higher powers of alpha and beta are involved. Very simple but very useful if higher powers of alpha and beta are involved. In this property, what we say, if alpha beta are roots of this equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and we define a term Sn which is equal to alpha to the power n plus beta to the power n, where n is greater than 2. Remember, this is only applicable for n greater than 2, not less than or equal to 2, and n must be a natural number. For example, alpha cube plus beta cube, alpha to the power 5 plus beta to the power 5, alpha to the power 10 plus beta to the power 10. For those type of values, you can always say that this relation will hold true. That is, in place of x square, you put Sn. In place of x, you put a reduced value of n, x square Sn, x Sn minus 1, and here 2 degrees less, that is Sn minus 2. So, a into Sn plus b into Sn minus 1 plus c into Sn minus 2, this will always be equal to 0. This is always equal to 0, where Sn is alpha to the power n plus beta to the power n, Sn minus 1 is alpha to the power n minus 1 plus beta to the power n minus 1, and Sn minus 2 is, we have put in place of this n, we are putting n minus 1, n minus 2, or whatever is here, it goes right in the exponent of alpha and beta. Let us see the proof. The proof is, we know that this equation has roots alpha and beta, so it must satisfy this equation. Alpha beta are roots of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So, a alpha square plus b alpha plus c is equal to 0, and a beta square plus b beta plus c is equal to 0. We know this. So, we put the values of Sn, Sn minus 1 and Sn minus 2 in this equation. We get a into alpha to the power n plus beta to the power n, this is Sn, plus b into alpha to the power n minus 1 plus beta to the power n minus 1, this is Sn minus 1, plus c times alpha to the power n minus 2 plus beta to the power n minus 2. This is equal to 0, we have to prove, or in other words, we can say that After expanding, we get a alpha to the power n plus a beta to the power n plus b a alpha to the power n minus 1 plus b beta to the power n minus 1 plus c alpha to the power n minus 2 plus c beta to the power n minus 2. We have just expanded this. Now what you do? We combine the terms containing alpha at one place and terms containing beta at another place. We get a times alpha to the power n plus b times alpha to the power n minus 1 plus c times alpha to the power n minus 2. Similarly, we get a beta to the power n plus b beta to the power n minus 1 plus c beta to the power n minus 2 is equal to 0. Now what we do? We take out alpha to the power n minus 2 common from this one. We get alpha to the power n minus 2. If we are taking alpha to the power n minus 2 common from alpha to the power n, we will be left with alpha square. Here we will be left with alpha and here we will be left with 1. So, we get alpha to the power n minus 2 into a alpha square plus b alpha plus c plus beta to the power n minus 2 into a beta square plus b beta plus c. This number we know is equal to 0. This number is equal to 0. Similarly, this number is equal to 0. We have already discussed alpha beta are roots of these equations. So, a alpha square plus b alpha plus c is equal to 0 and a beta square plus b beta plus c is equal to 0. Therefore, this relation alpha to the power n minus 2 into 0 plus beta to the power n minus 2 into 0 is equal to 0. Hence, proved. Now, let us discuss one practical example of this theory. We are given a question: if alpha beta are roots of x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0, then you have to find the value of alpha to the power 5 plus beta to the power 5. So, we are given that x square minus 3x plus 1 equal to 0 and we need to find alpha to the power 5 plus beta to the power 5. Since alpha beta are roots of this equation, we can say that alpha plus beta is equal to 3 minus b by a, that is minus 3 by 1, which is equal to 3. Alpha to the power 1 plus beta to the power 1 is equal to alpha plus beta, which is equal to 3. So, we can say this as S1. We cannot apply the previously derived reduction formula over here because here the value is 1. We have to find S2 also. This can be written as S5. We need to find S5. S1 is 3. Now let us go for S2. S2 also we know how to find alpha square plus beta square. This can be written as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta, which is equal to alpha plus beta is what? 3. Here we got it 3 square minus 2 times alpha beta, product of roots, which is equal to c, that is 1 by a, that is 1, 1 by 1, 1. So, we get 3 square minus 2 times 1, which is equal to 9 minus 2 or 7. We have calculated the value of S1 and S2. Now, we can apply the previously derived formula because now we need to find S3. S3 is greater than this, n is greater than 2. We cannot apply this formula for less than or equal to 2. This n must be greater than 2. Now, what we do? We write the equation ASN. We can see this in the previous relation. ASN plus BSN minus 1 plus CSN minus 2. So, if we need to find, if we write S3 over here, we will be writing S2. Here we will be writing S1, S3, S2, S1 in place of x square, x and 1. So, what we do? We write in place of x square we write Sn, in place of x we write Sn minus 1, in place of 1 we write Sn minus 2. A, B, C is written as it is. A is 1, B is minus 3, C is 1. So, Sn minus 3 Sn minus 1 plus Sn minus 2 is equal to 0. This relation holds true. So, for n is equal to 3, we can write as S3 minus 3 times S2 plus S1 is equal to 0. Solving this, we get S3 we take entire thing on the RHS, we get S3 is equal to 3S2 minus S1. S2 we know 7, S1 we know 3. We put the values of S2 and S1 over here, we get 3 into 7 minus 3, which is equal to 18. Now we will find n is equal to 4, that is S4. In place of n we will put 4, S4 is equal to S4 minus 3S3 plus S2 is equal to 0, or S4 is equal to 3S3 minus S2. Once you write down 2-3 steps, you will be getting a hang of this equation. So S4 is equal to 3S3 minus S2. S3 we have already calculated in the previous step, 18. Put it over here, and S2 is 7. 3 times 18 minus 7, which is equal to 47. Now we need to find S5, which is our answer. So S5 is equal to 3S4 minus S3, or 3 times 47 minus 18 is equal to 123. Therefore, we can say that alpha to the power 5 plus beta to the power 5 is equal to 123. Remember, here you cannot directly jump to S5. You have to find S1, S2, S3, S4, then S5. This is called a reduction formula. We have to reduce this to lower powers. First we find 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have to find alpha to the power 10 plus beta to the power 10, then you have to apply this expression 10 times. So you find S1, S2, S3, S4, and then till you go till S10. So this is the application part. Now let's discuss some special type of relations which can be reduced to quadratic for solving. For example, suppose you are given that you have to find the value of x, where x is equal to 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus, everything is going in denominator up till infinity. And this series or expression is extended till infinity. So if you have already done these type of questions, you can pause the video, try the question, or you first see one example and then proceed to the next question and try to solve it on your own. So what we observe over here, that x is equal to 2 plus 1 upon this expression repeating infinitely number of times. So if you remove this first part, 2 plus 1 upon, you observe that this 2 plus 1 upon 2 plus 1, this looks exactly same like the given expression. If we cover this part, this thing in bracket is exactly x. So out of infinite, if we reduce one term, it will still be infinite number of terms. So this is still x. So we can write it as x is equal to 2 plus 1 by x, and now you take the LCM, you get the quadratic x square minus 2x minus 1 equal to 0, and you apply the Sridharacharya formula to get x is equal to 1 plus root 2 or 1 minus root 2. This is the value of x. We have reduced this by making this substitution into a quadratic, then we solve the quadratic. Now one problem arises over here is we got two values of x, 1 plus root 2 and 1 minus root 2. This series cannot have two sums, it has to be one number. So which one is the right answer? So let's see. Root 2 is approximately equal to 1.414. So if you observe the first root 1 plus root 2, this is equal to 2.414, and the second one is 1 minus 1.414, which is minus 0.414. So this number is a negative number, less than 0. This is a negative number and this is a number greater than 2. You observe x. X is what? 2 plus something which is positive. 2 plus something which is positive, then this result has to be greater than 2. This cannot be less than 2 and certainly not a negative number. So the answer is x is equal to 1 plus root 2. This is your answer. Now let's do one more question. You pause the video, you try to solve this expression and find the value of this expression. You pause, solve this question and calculate the value of this expression. Once you have done it, you can see the solution. Now let's see the solution. Here also you see an infinite series is involved. We have, this is not a geometric progression, this is not a arithmetic progression or a harmonic progression or a mixture of any of these three. So we have to find a suitable method to solve this, which is, we have to think about it. So whenever you see these type of expressions, you try to find the repetitive term, means the term which is getting repeated every time till infinity. Here 6 is not getting repeated, log of 3 by 2 is not getting repeated, but if you observe the quantity inside this bracket, p is, let's assume that this entire expression is equal to p, then we observe that 1 by 3 root 2 root over 4 minus, then 1 by 3 root 2 root over 4 minus, 1 by 3 root 2 times root over 4 minus, and this entire series is getting repeated till infinity. So what we observe, that if we call this number x, this entire expression written within the logarithmic form is x, then we observe that if we remove this term from an infinite number of terms, 1 by 3 root 2 times root over 4 minus 1 by 3 root 2 root over 4 minus, this is again nothing but, you cover this up, see this thing, it is exactly nothing but x. Now what we observe, that if this entire expression is x, then here, from here till here is also x. So now what do? You put in place of this x. What we get, x is equal to, we'll find, first try to find out the value of x. X is equal to 1 by root 2 3 root 2, x is equal to, this number is x, x is equal to 1 by 3 root 2 root over 4 minus, this is again x. So 1 by 3 root 2 root over 4 minus x. Cross multiply, you get 3 root 2x is equal to root over 4 minus x, or square it, you get 18x square, that is 3 into 3 9 into 2 18x square is equal to 4 minus x. Transfer everything to the LHS, you get 18x square plus x minus 4. Factorize this quadratic, this is a easy quadratic, you get 9x minus 4 times 2x plus 1. From here you will get two values of x, one is 4 by 9 and another is minus half. This minus half is rejected because we cannot take log of negative numbers. So if x is half, this log 3 by log of 1 minus half to the base 3 by 2 is rejected. For concepts of logarithms, you can always refer to my lecture on logarithms. So minus half is rejected, we are left with only one answer, x is equal to 4 by 9. So let's put this in place of x in the given expression, we get p is equal to 6 plus log of 3 by 2 within brackets 4 by 9. So this is the number of which we have to take log, and this is the base. We know a property of logarithm, that log of a to the base a is 1. Here we observe that this number can be reduced to 3 by 2. So let's reduce it. This can be written as 6 plus log of 3 by 2. 4 by 9 is 2 by 3 whole square, and if we try to reverse this expression, we get 3 by 2 to the power minus 2, means this number is nothing but 4 by 9. We know that log of b to the power x to the base a is, exponent gets multiplied into the entire logarithm, this minus 2 comes out, gets multiplied, we get 6 minus 2 log 3 by 2 to the base 3 by 2. This is nothing but log a to the base a, which is equal to 1. So we get 6 minus 2, which is equal to 4. This is your answer 4. Thank you very much for watching. This completes this topic. Remember, practice makes a man perfect, and there is no substitute for hard work. Please do subscribe to my channel YLC, that is your learning curve. Thank you.